Wilder Show podcast. I'm Scott, and Lauren will join us shortly. Wilder Show podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time or before on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube, on the TikTok every now and again. On Instagram, you'll find us there as Wilder Show Pod, and our email is podcast@wildershow.com, or just engage us wherever you listen. We appreciate that. Give us a thumbs up and a comment wherever you get your podcast. Would you like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share and comment? That'd be great. Speaking of engagement, I got other comments about how to eat peanut M&Ms. So we had, you know, if you know, from the last episode. Anyway, catch up if you have not heard that. It was ridiculous. I mean, guilty as charged, of course. A quick word about World Cup. This is more fun than I expected. I got to tell you. I was looking at the ratings. Have you seen the ratings? In the last, I guess, 2 weeks or last week, Fox and Telemundo or wherever they're doing it also for the World Cup matches are 8 of the 10 top shows. That's good. Fox probably could not be more pleased. So, as you know, America won. And that, was it controversial? I don't really know. Soccer people would know better than I would, but it seemed like that wasn't a red card, but I don't really know. Red cards, yellow cards, all that stuff. Seemed like going straight at the red card was a problem, and being down a man for the rest of the, okay, you get the idea, and being without him now for this next match on Monday against Belgium. But the U.S. pulled it through and moves on to the round of 16. Well, love is in the air. In New York. No, not that. We'll get to that. Not that one. I'm talking about Angelina, Nikolai, and Ivan Kuznetsov. These are the Russian couple. Currently live in East Orange, New Jersey. They were the ones that climbed up on the tower. That is the couple that had that banner they unfurled at not just the top of the Empire State Building. If you've been there before, you know there's the observation deck, and it's pretty high. I mean, it's really high. But you can go much, much further up. There's a radio tower that goes all the way up. In fact, I've broadcast from a studio in that building before. So when they were up there on that radio tower, it is from that radio tower that obviously signals of whatever is in the building, if it's even still in the building, is being broadcast. But they were all the way up there. You saw what they did. Crazy. And details are still coming out. They apparently went to the observation deck at the Empire State Building, which anybody can do. And then according to authorities, they hid at the end of the day. When it closed for the day, they stayed overnight somewhere, then emerged in the morning, broke some locks, waited a bit, accessed a passage to the radio towers at the very top of the building, and climbed it all the way to the top, and they appeared to not have been tethered to anything. I know they've done climbs before, but man, I mean, that's really crazy. And they unfurled this banner. When the power of love beats the love of power, the world knows peace. Who said that? Do you know? Yeah, no, it wasn't. Everybody is saying it was Jimi Hendrix. And it says something about us that even when news people know that it wasn't Jimi Hendrix, they still report it the same way. That is a quote often attributed to Jimi Hendrix. Yeah, it is often attributed to Jimi Hendrix, but historians tell you there is absolutely no evidence in audio or in writing that Jimi Hendrix ever said it. It was said by a British prime minister in the 19th century. Police got them down, arrested them, charged them with several crimes, and I don't think they have pled. They did not plead to anything in it. Oh, and I left out the most important part. At one point, he gets down on his knee on this radio tower at the top of the Empire State Building and apparently proposes, to which she says yes. They hug, they kiss. Of course, there's a selfie stick there to capture everything. I think she even took a picture of her, either way they do, a picture of her hand with the ring, and then beyond her hand is like all of Manhattan, hundreds of feet below. Channeling Jim Nance, that was a proposal like no other. Okay, America 250. We're going to have, tomorrow is July 4th. Man, it's hot. Isn't it hot? Very hot. I wish it weren't so hot. Are people proud to be an American, where at least they know they're free? Not all. Not all are. And you won't be surprised at the split. Let me just say, I'm proud to be an American. I love this country. I love our state. I've told other people I believe that I live in the greatest state in the greatest country in the world, maybe in the history of the world. And so, yeah, I love this country. I'm very proud. Could it be better? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. A more perfect union. We always have a long way to go. That's okay. It's okay. It's not. We're not going to get there. It is partly the journey. It's not just about the destination. But pride is at a new low point. Guess with whom? Who do you think is least proud to be an American? Yes, of course. It is Democrats and independents who are least proud to be an American. And not all Democrats and not all independents, but we'll look at the numbers in a second. Throughout this whole trend, Americans, Republicans have been more likely than Democrats and independents to say that they're proud to be American. Even when Republican pride dipped during the Joe Biden administration, guess what? Even then, Republicans remained the most likely of the three groups to express extreme pride. That's really interesting to me. After Trump's first presidency, the second time, Biden is made president. A lot of Republicans are upset about that. But even then, when their guy didn't win, and it's Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, even then, Republicans remained the most likely of the three groups to express extreme pride. So where are the numbers now? 70% of Republicans currently, 28% of independents currently, and only 14% of Democrats say they are extremely proud to be American. They say, well, maybe not extreme. What about very proud? Well, that's fair. Okay. When you combine extremely proud and very proud, okay? Extremely proud, very proud. 93% of Republicans express that they are either extremely proud or very proud. Independents, that number is 51%. And only 27% of Democrats say they are extremely proud or even very proud to be American. Now, will this change with the Mamdani stuff, with the Mamdani endorsed candidates? I saw AOC has come out endorsing somebody who's radically, wildly leftist, and they say progressive. Will they be more proud when it's less American? I mean, that's what it feels like. It feels like they can only be more proud if it's less American. This is what it means to be American, and they are not proud of that. So we have to change that to make it something that they can be proud of. But I got to tell you, if they change it to where they're proud of it, it will not be American. Liberals don't get it, and we've said that 1,000 times. But it's true, and good to remind ourselves of that, especially at the time you could be very depressed about some of the things going on in the political world or the political news. Dems don't get it. They overreach. They miscalculate. That's what they are doing with this Democratic Socialist of America stuff. What does it mean to be a Democrat these days? Well, if you look at who has the most attention and most energy, you might say with the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America. But James Carville, as we've said, said, hey, listen, start your own party. You are not Democrat. This is not Democrat. But they're winning primaries. They're winning primaries. They're going to be running in the general election. It's another example that they don't get it. When I give you the tenets of DSA, Democratic Socialist of America, you're not going to believe it. And it's not even me saying it. It's not even coming from some conservative group. This is on their very own website. This is what we stand for. This is what we believe. And all of it is a miscalculation. So if only 27% of Democrats are either very proud or extremely proud, I mean, proud in some way, of being American, what kind of America would they like to have that they could be proud of? the DSA tenants. These are not from me. It's not me saying this. This is from their website. Who are the people that Democrats are electing in primaries that they are excited about? Over, by the way, and kicking out faithful Democrats who have served, in some cases, for decades. I mean, you look at the case in Colorado, Representative Diana DeGette, who has served for 15 terms for 30 years. She began serving before Milor Quiros, her opponent, was even born. So for all of Milo Quiros' life, Diana DeGette has represented her, and now gone, because it's a change election mood, and the four Mamdani endorsed candidates winning will make them think that this is what the American people want. They ran radical liberals, socialists, if not communists, in the primaries, and they are defeating candidates who have proven that they could beat Republicans. It's another miscalculation by Democrats. So what are the tenets of DSA? The Democratic Socialist of America. So what do you believe in? I'm just going to run down these with probably little comment. Expansive family leave for all workers and free public universal child care and pre-K. Universal health care with no premiums or copays, no deductibles, guarantees for reproductive and gender-affirming care. Read that. Medication and mutilation for trans and abortion. That's what they're talking about there. Make all public higher education tuition-free with no out-of-pocket costs for room and board, and cancel all existing student loan debt. A 32-hour work week with no reduction in pay or benefits. So if you're currently working only 40 hours a week and you go to 32 hours a week, that company was just given about a 13% tax. So if you're working right now, let's say 40 hours a week, and you go to a 32-hour week, you've just been given a 20% raise. Because if you decrease the work by 8 hours, but you keep the pay the same, think of it as a tax on the business or punishment to the business or a benefit to the worker. A 32-hour work week with no reduction in pay or benefits. Greatly reduce U.S. military budget. Close overseas bases. Close overseas bases and bring troops home. That is basically shut down the military. Close all of our military bases overseas. Just two more. Allow workers to freely migrate between countries, to seek employment without restrictive immigration controls, demilitarize the border, end all immigrant detention and deportations, immediate amnesty for all immigrants, regardless of current immigration status, and provide access to jobs, labor, rights, and social services to all immigrants. And finally, extend all voting rights to people with criminal convictions and non-citizens, and establish statehood for Washington, D.C. This is another overreach, and you can win in the primary. But the problem for them, I hope it will be the case. The problem for them is you get into the general election, and now you got to deal with reasonable people. It's much easier to win in the primary, as you've seen. There are now three Democrat incumbents who were knocked out by these DSA people, by these radical progressives. But that doesn't mean they can win in the general election. I'm not saying they couldn't. I mean, look at New York. New York did. I'm not saying they couldn't. Maybe they will. But when you have to, it's much easier to win when you're crazy fighting crazy fighting common sense. And hopefully the Republican, whoever it is, wherever it is, can be the voice of reason and common sense, because those things I just mentioned, those are not American values. Illegals voting in our country, that is not an American value. Extending full voting rights, not an American value. Okay, we have to talk about, the big story. Let me say just a word about what happened at the Supreme Court. I don't get too bogged down in it, but it is pretty significant what happened. And I don't really know what you think it means, but the two big decisions, there were three decisions, the two big ones on Tuesday for the final day of the term of the Supreme Court. One was trans in sports, and one was birthright citizenship. And briefly on trans in sports, I think most people expected that to be one. That case would be like two cases, but those cases would be one. And that it was a states' rights issue. Can the states have a ban in place for no boys in girls' sports? I'm saying in the way that's easiest to understand. And the Supreme Court said, yeah, can. Now, where does this go from here? I think where it goes from here, and this is the slippery slope stuff that people, on both sides warn against. I think what's going to happen is they're going to use Title IX, among other things, is protecting females in sports, and say, yeah, you know what? You don't get funding if you allow boys to play in girls' sports. And those who believe boys should not play in girls' sports, and of course I believe that, are buoyed by the fact that this decision was made on Tuesday. So with this decision sort of in our hip pocket, we go now and find a case that, let's say you go to a state, there are like 32 states that have bans in place already. And what the Supreme Court said was, yeah, you can keep them in place. They didn't make a judgment on whether it is right or isn't right. Doesn't really matter what they think about that. That was not the question before them. The question before them was, do the states have the right to put the bans in place? And they said yes. And I think with that in the hip pocket, you're going to find some of these other states, or the other, whatever number that would be, 18 states, that don't have these bans in place, and find a lawsuit from a girl who wants to play in the sport, but she can't, and find a way to tie in Title IX and say states that allow this do not get funding. Now, so much of this stuff you can't do if you don't win elections, right? If you don't have the White House, if you don't have the House, if you don't have the Senate, you can't make a difference to the Supreme Court. Now, I think most of us are really happy that Donald Trump put 3 people in the Supreme Court. I was kind of hoping to get one more opportunity here in the first 2 years. No word out, really, about, there's a rumor. It's funny, NPR published a rumor and then immediately had to retract it. Misunderstood. And that was that Samuel Alito was going to retire. But I was kind of hoping we'd have one retirement before the midterm election. It didn't happen, or it hasn't happened yet. And so we had 3 that were appointed, nominated, and confirmed that were put there by Donald Trump. The question with the birthright citizenship really was, and it's a little complicated, but it really was, remember when the president was running this third time, and when he said, on day 1, I will sign an executive order 2, and he had a bunch of stuff that he said he would do. This is one of those things. He signed an executive order on that day that did away with birthright citizenship. And birthright citizenship, it's the 14th Amendment from 1868, I think. It's right after the Civil War. And it states, it's a little more complicated than this, but it states, if you're born on U.S. soil or naturalized here, you are a U.S. citizen. So people that come here and they're naturalized here and they do all the things you have to do, you become a U.S. citizen. Or if you were born here, you are a U.S. citizen. And this was really initially, it had really only to do with slaves, the children of slaves, people that had come here, been brought here against their will. You have these children that were born while their parents were slaves. And the question is, what is their status? I mean, are they citizens of the country from which they came, for their parents? Or since they were born here, are they a U.S. citizen? And that was determined that, yes, in fact, the 14th Amendment said, yeah, you are a U.S. citizen. Now, over the years, this has really changed because you don't have people that come here and believe in this place and want to be an American, want to become an American. You have that like birth tourism, where you say, hey, I'm 9 months pregnant. Let's go and get over there. And then I'm going to have the baby. We're coming right back to Germany. But at least the kid will have this, that if he wants to use in the future, he is a U.S. citizen. Well, that's not, those people aren't tied to this country. But the decision was, it was a 6-3 decision against what the president did. And the breakdown was a little surprising. One of them was not surprising. One of them was kind of surprising. So that was the case before the Supreme Court. The announcement was made. So the two conservatives on the court, the two most conservative, Alito and Thomas, did vote to repeal birthright citizenship. If the three that Donald Trump put on the court could have voted with those conservatives, that would have been enough. That alone would have been enough. If Gorsuch and Kavanaugh and Barrett had joined Alito and Thomas, we wouldn't have even needed Roberts, a W. Bush appointee, replacing Rehnquist, who I wonder how he would have voted. This is what we talked about before. On the Supreme Court, the justices never get more conservative. Never. If they drift, they always drift left. Sotomayor, Kagan, Brown, Jackson, obviously, were on the liberal side, but they were joined by Barrett, Kavanaugh, and Roberts. So it made it a 6-3 decision. Thomas, Alito, Gorsuch dissenting. Thomas authored the lead dissent, arguing that the Trump administration's argument that the 14th Amendment was originally intended to only apply to formerly enslaved people and their descendants, not to children of individuals unlawfully or temporarily residing in the United States. Amy Coney Barrett was the last of the three Trump nominees after Gorsuch and Kavanaugh. If Amy Coney Barrett had voted with the conservatives, it would have been a 5-4 decision. So these three justices, nominated by Republican, confirmed by a conservative Senate, these were all Federalist Society pushes, confirmed by Mitch McConnell's Senate. And we couldn't count on them. And it's disappointing. And no matter how many things are there like this that disappoint some of us, the media continues to call it the Trump conservative court, the conservative majority court. If it was a Trump conservative court, how are they finding against Trump on so many of these things? Okay, by now, we either know what's going to happen or don't, or maybe we don't know even now when you're listening to this. I don't know when you listen, if you get it on the day it drops or not, but it turns out the English teacher and the coach are getting married today. We're told in New York today at Madison Square Garden. We'll see. I don't know. It's going to be a thing. It will be. I think she's going to have a new record label. Some business deal is attached to this. I think Lauren and I disagree about that, but I'm not saying it's an angle. I'm not saying it's not real. I'm not saying it's not love. I'm just saying, don't miss an opportunity for a good promo. Oh, it is time for Scattershoot.
Let's go.
Wilder Show Scattershoot. All right.
It's the shooting of the scatter. That doesn't really work, does it?
No, Scattershoot, that was the old, who was it? Who was our buddy?
Blackie Sherrod.
Yeah, Blackie Sherrod. It was his sort of little, scattershoot just means like a scatter gun. It's like a shotgun. It's not a rifle. You don't have the bullseye, but you'll hit probably the entire target or at least the side of the barn with a scatter gun.
I guess. For me, though, I don't really know very much about guns and all that and what fires what and what all of that means. I'm sort of scattered and I've got like a whole bunch of stuff from a lot of different,
all right, there you go.
A lot of different genres.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes maybe silly, and we're gonna shoot the scatter for a while.
So hat tip to the late and great Blackie Sherrod,
yes.
And this is the Wilder Show Scattershoot.
Did you ever watch Dark Shadows?
Yeah, I think we talked about this before.
I think we have too.
Dark Shadows came on at 3:30, I think, in the afternoon when I was a kid.
Now, are you thinking of the original run? From 1966 to 1971, or are you thinking of?
No.
See that I don't have a. Well, go ahead and tell me your story.
Okay,
tell me your story, Uncle Scott.
Well, the original that we lived across the alley from the Taylors, and the Taylors were allowed to watch Dark Shadows.
Okay,
and we did not watch Dark Shadows in my house.
Yeah.
So every now and then we'd happen to be over there when Dark Shadows was on. It was basically a soap opera with vampires. It was a vampire theme, but it basically was an afternoon soap opera.
It was a gothic soap opera that you're right. It aired on ABC from 1966 to 1971. Featured tormented vampire Barnabas Collins.
That's right,
and
Barnabas
I've never heard
Collins.
it described this way before, but his supernaturally dysfunctional family. and it was indeed a soap opera. I missed it during that first run, 1966 to 1971. This might be a good time to remind everyone you're a little bit older than I am.
Thank you.
Just a little bit. But when I did see it, it came on again in syndication in the earliest of the 80s, the very early 80s, because I remember coming home from high school. I was sort of excited because I remember my older cousins talking about it when it was on, and I didn't watch it then either. I don't know. I mean, I probably would not have been allowed to, even if I wanted to watch it.
Not.
A little scary.
It was like if your parents didn't want you to watch soap operas. And that kind of, it's like soap operas. Plus it was a little scary.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was as scary as it could be, in those days. I mean, there wasn't really.
I was really scared when I watched it,
in
the early 80s.
So I
was like 16,
really?
15, 16, 17, and I would come home from school a little bit earlier than my sister did, just because of the way the bus schedules or whoever was picking us up ran. So I would be really anxious for her to get home. She was 4 years younger than I am, and I just wanted another warm body in the house when I was watching that show. It was black and white. It was creepy. Barnabas was pretty creepy.
Collins.
But the other thing that I remember, and this should have been able to take me out of it and just see how silly it was. I remember you'd see a boom mic fall into the frame.
So messy.
Terribly
That's
produced.
What I mean. Terribly produced, terribly shot. It's like the cameraman or the director couldn't tell. The mic is in the shot. Hey, Bob. Yeah. Hey, Bob, the mic is in. We can see the mic. So that's what I was saying when he says it's scary. It's like, well, it's scary, except every now and then, you can see the guy, behind you see the wall is not really a wall, or the mic is dripping down into the camera frame.
So maybe I was a little overly sensitive.
Yeah,
but anyway, the whole reason I even bring it up is because Warner Brothers Animation is bringing Dark Shadows back.
Come on.
It's going to be an animated series for adults. I don't know if anybody, will be interested in it at all. I just thought it was kind of funny. And oddly enough, it will continue the saga of the Collins family, blending, this is the official log line from Warner Brothers Animation, blending gothic horror and supernatural genres. This coming adaptation promises all the dark twists and romantic intrigue that defined the transformational series across its, can you guess how many episodes?
Let me think.
I think it's going to be more than, remember, it was a Monday through Friday thing.
The olden times, these seasons, let's just say 26 times. Well, the thing is, the soap operas don't really take a break.
They don't take a break.
So let's say this. If there 200, 260. I'm going to say 1,080.
You're really close. 1,200 plus.
Wow.
So a little
crazy.
Bit more than 1,200. That's a lot of episodes. And I guess with animation, they'll be able to avoid some of the things like the boom mics hanging into the shot and things like that.
Now, let me just say, I'm a little concerned about it.
Yeah.
What is it going to be on? It's going to be on, we said, Warner?
It's being produced by Warner Brothers Animation. I have no idea where it will stream, or I mean, there are no details about when it will come out or where it will stream or anything like that.
But you said it would have all of the original the intrigue or the scariness of
romantic intrigue, dark twists.
But romantic intrigue and animation, they really go together for me.
It seems like
kind of creepy almost.
Maybe a little bit.
It's like, really?
Yeah.
So, okay.
I don't know.
But they do say it's like, maybe it's like the Adult Swim type stuff.
Something like that.
I mean, maybe it's going to be like that. Anyway.
But the thing that makes me think that it can't be, it can't really be too bad, right? Because it's being produced by Lisa Holdsworth, who is a producer and a writer. She's the creator of and a writer on Call the Midwife, which I think just ended. You know what Call the Midwife is?
That's
is my mom's favorite show.
It's the Birthing Girls sequel, right?
It's no.
What was the one with the girls with the hats? The different hats they had to wear. The girls who had to have the babies. What was the name of it? What's her name?
Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, is it Handmaid's Tale too?
Call the Midwife is nothing like Handmaid's Tale.
Okay.
Call the Midwife is a BBC thing. I think they just wrapped the whole show after maybe 13 seasons. One of my mom's favorite shows.
What's it about?
My mom loves it. It takes place, I think, in the 50s or 60s in the UK, and it is. There are nuns involved, young nurses involved, young
midwives,
mothers.
About?
Yeah, young mothers involved, wed and unwed, and all the drama. But it is I mean, there are some maybe adult themes because it has to do with, childbirth and things like that. But it is, you would call it for sure a family show.
Okay, very good. Very good.
Anyway, so I would say coming soon, but we don't really know when this reimagine. Is it a reimagining? I don't know. Just says they're bringing Dark Shadows back.
Cool.
So, if you're interested, we'll keep you posted. Yeah. The Brick. You and I have talked about the Brick.
The Brick.
Too. I'm a little more intrigued.
Really?
By
Real quick, for people who don't know, the Brick is it's a physical thing.
Yeah.
That basically nannies you on what you can and can't do with your own phone. Sort of,
but you're still the nanny.
Right.
You're still making the rules.
Think of it like this. It's like it's like when people set their clocks ahead 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So they'll never be late.
I've done it.
But then they remember that they're the people that made it appear to be the other time. It's like you set your own rules for this outside thing to tell you how to behave on your phone, and then the outside thing won't let you behave the way your nature tells you to behave, but you can always change and tell the Brick that you really but only this time, you really want to.
Well, I've been a little bit judgy about it. I read a little, it was in the news, I don't know if you noticed, in the news a little bit more last week, and I think it might have been because there were Prime Day deals on the Brick. So you could have been Prime Days. That's over.
To be clear,
now,
I have family members who love it. So,
I know. And I really, if I know that smart people are using it, it makes me a little less judgy because I figure they must know something.
Or it's helping them. It could help me, maybe. Yeah.
But I mean, so you talked a little bit about how it works. What you do, you tap your phone on it and the apps that you've chosen, and it, again, you are the nanny. They are disabled until you tap your phone again. So it might be that you leave the Brick at home and you go to work and all day long, you're out of luck. You can't access those apps because the Brick is not there for you to tap it. Or it might be it's going to work the way you set it up to work.
Right.
If you've got
you can pick your own things.
Yeah. If you enable it and you're at home and the Brick is on the refrigerator in the kitchen and you're in the living room and you want to open Instagram, but you have to get up to tap your phone, it's banking on the fact that you're going to be too lazy to even get up and walk to the kitchen to tap your phone to open Instagram. So it banks on the fact also that we cannot control this impulse ourselves. I can't have my phone in my hand or in my pocket or on the table and say, I don't want to spend that much time on Instagram. So even though I just had the urge to sort of open it, I'm a little bit bored. I'm looking for a little dopamine hit, but I'm not going to open Instagram. And that, I think, is where I've been a little bit judgy. Really, can we not control ourselves even that much? But by the same token, I'm the person, I've put a limit on the amount of time I can be on Instagram. But of course, at the end of that time, it says, you want a little more time? And all I have to do is tap it and say, just one more minute, just 15 more minutes, or ignore my limit for today.
But I think, if those things can just remind you of, hey, this has been a while. I mean, because sometimes you can get busy and go, oh my, I just wasted, 2 hours or whatever doing whatever. It's not a bad thing.
No.
For me, I don't know. Maybe Brick is sort of like, hey, listen, here's the deal. You're gonna get to keep holding your phone. Okay, we're gonna let you keep holding your phone, but we'll talk to you about it. But every now and then, some of those things that you're spending maybe a little bit too much time on, we're going to just pause for a second, but you still get to hold your phone.
Yeah.
Isn't it sort of it's sort of like that?
It is like that. I think the thing that gets me is, look, I am the one, I can't have candy in my house and not eat it. Okay. If I want ice cream, I have to buy just a little bit of ice cream. If there's a whole gallon of ice cream in the freezer, it's very likely that I'm going to overdo it. So I understand this, and I have no business being judgy where this is concerned.
Yeah.
But the thing that gets me is, so now you've got to spend more money.
Is it a monthly thing you do?
No, you buy it one time.
Oh, that's nice.
But you just buy it one time.
Okay, that's good.
But you've got to spend money on something to keep you from spending too much time on the thing you're already spending money on.
Honestly, it's your own fault. I say it with great respect, but it's your own fault.
Yeah.
You have it's sort of like saying, if I wanted to, I don't know, only eat so many calories. And I assigned a friend of mine, only bring me this many calories. But I had to pay the friend.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you don't have to. You could do yourself if you want to.
You can be in charge of that yourself.
But everybody should do whatever they have to do to get things under control. Some people have a real problem with their phones.
Yeah.
A real problem.
Yeah.
It's like an addiction.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you think so?
Oh, 100% yes. Yeah.
So, and it's like, well, we want people not to be addicted. And so if we can do things, even little bricks or, whatever, or if they need me to come in and shame them, I could.
You won't even make anybody pay you for that. You'll shame them for free.
Absolutely. That's no problem. If you need me to shame you regarding phone use, I am here to serve.
Podcast at wildershow.com.
No, I don't make light of it because I know it is a big deal for a lot of people. And especially when you combine things, when you were talking about, it shuts it off. The office, you can't do these things at the office.
Or
come
wherever
back
you go.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you used that example. I was like, dude, at the office, that's when I have to play the games. That's when I have to do the gambling sites. Or have to,
where nobody's looking over my shoulder.
That's right.
Yeah.
When you combine, phone addiction to other addictions.
Yeah.
You have DraftKings. It's not bad enough that people are addicted to gambling. Let's put it in the device they're already addicted to.
It's right there in the palm of their hand.
So I'd say, everybody, you do what you have to do to take care of you and yours. And totally kidding with the shame thing. No shame.
No.
You do what you have to do. Everybody does what they have to do.
I would love to know from people. Scott, you mentioned that a few of you have family members who use it. If you use the brick and you love the brick, and you don't mind sharing your experience. Yeah. Send us a note, send an email to podcast@wildershow.com. I'm just curious. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on that. The Tartan Army. You know who the Tartan Army is? They're thirsty. The Tartan Army is thirsty. It's the Scottish soccer fans.
Oh, I read this in Boston, right?
Having such a good time in Boston, taking over
World
restaurants
Cup.
And pubs.
Yeah.
Yep. Taking a victory lap of the city after their 1-0 win over Haiti. This was last week, about a week and a half ago. Then they marched to a Red Sox game after that on Sunday. They've also been drinking a lot of beer.
Well, that's the thing. That's a story that I saw because it was, the thing I saw was if Scott shows up, he'll drink all your beer. It wasn't me though. It was one T, because it really was a thing of. I think it was at the famous. There is a famous Sam Adams.
Yeah, it's Sam Adams Boston Tap Room.
That's it. It's huge.
Yeah,
and the Scots drank all the beer. There was no beer. Boston ran out of beer because the Scotsmen were there for the World Cup, and they drank all the beer.
Having such a lovely time. Yeah, the Boston Tap Room ran out of Sam Adams Boston Lager over that weekend because the Scottish soccer fans drank it dry. They said that they drank 4 times as much Boston Lager as they normally sell during a typical 4-day holiday stretch like the 4th of July. They had to schedule an emergency delivery just to keep up. There's also a place called Hennessy's Bar in downtown Boston. They told the Boston Globe that it tripled its St. Patrick's Day sales.
Yep, there you go.
Sold out of beer altogether on Sunday night.
I read a Guinness. There's a Guinness thing there too somewhere.
There's I don't know. I don't think I have a Guinness thing, but there's another place, Federal Wine and Spirits, which is a place that's in the financial district. They also told the Boston Globe that they sold out of Budweiser and Corona on Saturday, and the door on one of the refrigerators broke from being opened and closed so many times.
That is crazy.
So they took quite the hit.
Yeah, they liked the refreshments there.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, and I think it was something like it was some crazy number of Guinness draws. It was like 16,000 or something crazy number. Yeah, so it's World Cup, sports, guys in sports and stuff.
Guys in sports.
That is a Wilder Show podcast. The podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time or before on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube, on the TikTok now and again, on Instagram as Wilder Show Pod. Our email is podcast@wildershow.com if you want to tell us your brick story or if you have any questions. We'll do a mailbag thing coming up at some point. Questions for us or for Lauren, for me. You can email podcast@wildershow.com, or you can engage us wherever you listen. Just give us a thumbs up and a comment or whatever. Wherever you get your podcast, like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share. And Lauren, thank you.
You bet.
And we'll see you next time.
da 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 da